My name is Olga. I will also give a different presentation with more details tomorrow at 4:30, and this is basically the introduction into what I have been doing and why the hell I'm here in the first place. As Peter, I also work more in Bitcoin community than in the blockchain one, and today I will give you a small overview of the things that you probably have not been following much in Bitcoin space, but maybe you might be interested in. So first, a few words about who am I. My name is Olga Ukolova. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm the co-author of the Free AI Manifesto, which was presented here, I think, 2 years back during the Crypto Castle conference. I'm also one of the board members at LNPBP Standards Association and founder of for-profit Pandora company. More details. So we structured our activity in 2 layers itself. The first layer is the basic one, which is dealing with open source standards, program libraries, everything like that. So it's absolutely open source, and it's been governed, quotes, by LNPBP Standards Association, which is a non-profit entity. And I'm also one of the founders of the for-profit company, which builds products and services, including UI, mobile wallets, web applications, etc., etc., that would be able to monetize everything that we have been building on the base layer. So a few words about the LNPBP Standards Association. We started 3 years ago, and it's a non-profit entity in Switzerland. And our goal was to build censorship-resistant, private, and scalable technology on top of Bitcoin. So far, it's the largest Bitcoin tech nonprofit in Switzerland. We have more than 55, I think, contributors overall. So if you're interested, go on GitHub and check us out. What exactly has been our master plan regarding building the technologies? We took the approach of building layer by layer, building the technologies layer by layer, while not compromising on the core of cypherpunk values that were brought to us by Bitcoin, which is unconfiscatability, I hate that word, privacy, and scalability. So for that, we have this anatomy, probably, I can say. On the base layer, we have Bitcoin, and as the second layer, we have Lightning Network Protocol. Then you can see a couple of technologies that we have built so far, or we are in the process of building. One of them, and probably the most famous one, is RGB, is the scalable and confidential smart contract system, which can work on top of Bitcoin and on top of Lightning, depending on your business goal. Also, we have a protocol for decentralized storage, search, and messaging, which is called Storm. And as a work in progress, we're currently working on decentralized computations, which can also be used instead of Amazon and for heavy load computations. The long-term vision is to build decentralized AI and decentralized social networks based on our technologies, so we're slowly moving to that direction. And for many, many people, probably it can come up a bit scary, but our end goal is to build a transhumanistic society where actually AI could be able to coexist with humans. So when we joined the RGB development and when we founded the nonprofit, we understood that Lightning Network, for example, as reckless as it was offered to the audience, as reckless as it was still not upgradable, basically, for many different things. It was not ready for it. For Taproot, for Miniscript, for channel factories, channel splits. And of course, when we started working with Lightning Network more deeply, we understood that there are a lot of components that are not present there for a lot of very complex use cases that are present nowadays in real life. For messaging, for micropayments, for nanopayments, as some people call it, etc., etc. When we started digging into the question why that happens, we understood that, in fact, Lightning development happens in this way. Like, bolts are the specifications which are the basics of which serve as the basics for the further implementation. So looking at how the specifications are covering the functionality, you can probably understand why there are problems in Lightning Network and why not all of the functionality, not all of the cases in the real world can be covered by Lightning Network itself. So we understood that something should be done with it, also because we, as a for-profit company, we had our own business goals and we needed to find solutions to that. We started building it because there was no other way. So right now what we have built is, what we're launching right now is the Bitcoin finance, as we call it. And it's basically everything you can ever wish for, and the reason why a lot of blockchain projects actually appeared, because they wanted to cover new use cases which could not be covered by Bitcoin itself. They needed to have a scalable technology, private technology, and they needed a lot of projects. They needed something to be reckless enough to play around with it. So this is what we have been targeting, and this is what we have been working on. So right now we have a couple of technologies. One of them is RGB, another one is Bifrost and Storm. And basically these three technologies, they cover probably most of the real use cases that people have nowadays. Assets, issuing assets, DEXs, AMM, algorithmic stable coins, futures, options, NFTs, liquidity pools, and all of that on top of Bitcoin. So here's a small overview of what we have done so far. All of our stack is Rust-based, which we're very proud of. And when I'm talking about the protocol design itself, we have 4 nodes already implemented. One is the reimplementation of Bitcoin node. Then we also have Rust-based Lightning Network node. RGB node, of course, for running smart contracts on top of Bitcoin and on top of Lightning, depending on what you need. And Storm node, which is used for storage and messaging. We also have a lot of standards and libraries that you can check out, blueprints. You can find it on, you can either ask me, or you can just go on GitHub and search for it there. When people ask me what is RGB and what exactly the topology is with regards to Bitcoin, Lightning, and other technologies that we're building, probably this is the visual that is the most accurate one, because you cannot just layer RGB on top. Okay, let me rephrase this. So RGB is one of the technologies which you can use on multiple different layers at the same time. So basically, if we want to visualize the technological stack that we have built, it could be probably better visualized like this in form of a triangle, instead of using just horizontal layering as people usually prefer it to be. So, it's 10 minutes already, right?
She hates us.
No, not yet, not yet.
Not yet, okay.
So yeah, RGB is the smart contract system on top of Bitcoin and Lightning Network. It is absolutely scalable, it's private, and it does not bloat the, what the hell is going on? Can I just do this? So yeah. RGB is the smart contract system, and it can be used on top of Bitcoin and Lightning Network, which is the first, so RGB is the first technology who can work on top of Lightning Network, actually. Liquid cannot, Omnibolt cannot, and many different technologies also cannot. RGB can do it, and I will dive deeper about it tomorrow at 4:30 still, right? Okay. Yeah, there was a talk today by guys on the topic of state channels, and basically one of the problems that they have been facing is to solve the disputes between two users of the state channel, and for disputing they use blockchain, as far as I understood. And one of the questions from the audience was, can you actually solve the disputes without using the base layer, the blockchain layer on top of it? The answer is yes, you can, if you use client-side validation, which is basically the approach that we took. I will get a deep dive tomorrow into this. For those of you who have been maybe following our work, we did release the RGB protocol already, so you can use it in command line. There are user interfaces for it, and we will be actually presenting much more user-friendly solutions to it. Okay, that's it.